everyone, welcome back to Faithful You and welcome back to my Vlogmas. Lovely to have you here. I hope you're all well. Coming to you from Wales in the UK, and this is my little Vlogmas cave in my back bedroom in the house. I hope you're all enjoying my videos. If you are, do like and subscribe. Do hit that bell and that'll tell you when I'm uploading new vlogs. And you can keep up to date with how I'm getting ready for Christmas. Today we're looking at weaving looms. I've got these HEDDLEs, and I'm going to be making some rigid HEDDLE looms. So we're going to go out into the garage and we're going to have a look at what we're going to make and how we're going to make it. But first off, today I'm taking you outside and showing you the wood I've got and the workspace that I'm using. And we're going to sit down and today now and look at the plan as to how big it's going to be, what size they're going to be, what I'm taking my measurements off, and basically just building the weaving looms. And I want to make it as easy as possible for myself to build, easy to use, but also easy that if you want to have a go at making one, you can make one as well. So I thought first off we'd do our yarns for today and see where we're up to. I have to admit I fell behind on the crochet. I fell behind on getting them ready. But I have been enjoying what I'm doing. The colours have been okay. Some of the colours, the black, I wasn't keen on. And I wasn't keen on the dusky pink either. But yeah, for an advent calendar, it's not too bad. And I may get one again next year, but we'll have to see. But today we are on day 10 and day 11. So I'll just get them out of the thing over there and we'll have a look at them together. Won't be a sec. So I'm in a new position today because I'm sat next to my table getting ready for doing the weaving loom. But I'm just opening number 10. Number 10. And, ooh, that's a nice colour. I like that one. Look how limey that is. Isn't that lovely? So that's number 10. Let's see what number 11 has in store, shall we? It's like having a little bit of a Christmas present every time. Oh, this is just white. That was a bit disappointing after that. That was a bit disappointing. Yeah, they could have been a bit more inventive with the colour, couldn't they? But yeah, white and green we have. Well, like a lemony sort of colour. So I'll put them back in the envelopes and then I know what colours come out of what. I haven't done any more of the cream. I've been really busy and I've been really tired. So yeah, so I've not had much chance to get much done. But I thought today I was just in the mood. I needed to go to the shops, but I didn't want to go to the shops today. So I thought, well, I'm out tomorrow and I'm possibly out Thursday. So I thought, you know, I'll just leave it till Thursday. And then when I have to go to the tip on Thursday, because I've been tidying the garage, I thought, well, I'll go to the shops then when I have to go to the rubbish tip and take all my rubbish. So, because we had a storm last weekend on Friday evening and Saturday called Storm Dara or Dara. I don't know how to pronounce it, but anyway. And it flooded the garage room where my freezer is and where my husband keeps all his stuff. So I've been having to have a sort out and get rid of all the wet stuff that's in there. So I've done that. And yeah, I've just got to take a load of wet cardboard and polystyrene and things I've kept for selling on eBay. You know, the packaging stuff. I've just got to take that to the tip and get rid of it. So that's why today I thought I'd do the HEDDLE looms. So I've got my brown paper. I've got the loom that I want to use as a design. And I've also got my Kromsky, which is behind you there. And I want to see what the difference is in the weaving space of the cloth space between the two things that you roll to tighten the cloth. So that's the plan for that. But first off, we're going to do some important business, and that's we're going to do the advent calendar. I just remembered. So how many days? Oh, I've got quite a bit of chocolate today because there's day 7 there. Day 6. Oh, should we have a lot of chocolate? I didn't realise there was so many missing. But doing my vlogs 2 together, I'm getting a bit befunked. My brain doesn't work very well at the best of times anyway. But I'm a bit more enamoured with my Milky Bar calendar this year. It's a bit better than I thought. Just checking my microphone's working. So that was day, where are we? What do we want today? Got day 4, day 12. I haven't got my glasses on either, so that doesn't help, does it? Day 11. There's day 11. Day 11. Day 10. Oh, we're marching through them, aren't we? Marching on. It's that one. The bauble, I think, with a star on it. You see the star? That one was a sleigh with presents in it. That one's a pair of candy canes. This one is a Frosty Bob, or the Michelin Man out of Ghostbusters again. Don't think it's a penguin. I think that's it. Yeah, day 12 and day 13 will be the next ones. Yeah, I think that's it. So I've got 4 nice pieces of chocolate today. Do you know, I still haven't eaten the other ones from the other day either. So that's that. Frosty Bob, Betty and Crystal are going to get some new batteries. That's why they're not changing colour behind me. I bought them some new batteries, but I just haven't got round to changing them yet. My craft room is going to have a shufty round in the new year. Behind me is my fabric cupboard, and I want to bring Gordon's cabinet back up because I think it'll be a good extra storage space in here, and I really like it. And I don't want it getting woodworm in the garage, and it's the only place that it can go. So my big cabinet that I built my shelves, I've decided I'm going to put them on that side where this cabinet is and the Christmas tree is. But the only thing is it's not going to fit how it fits now. So I'm going to have to rejig it and do something with it to make it fit. And I'll probably lose a couple of shelves, but gain a couple of shelves because the spaces are quite big between each shelf. So I'll be able to put an extra shelf in and make narrower shelves. So that's going to work like that, I think. So, and then the table's going to go where it is now with Gordon's cupboard next to it. And I think that's going to be a good, useful bench space then because I'll have my table for my sewing. And I'm thinking of putting like a breakfast bar thing above the table so I can sit up and look out the window. Because at the moment, you know, I can't see anything out the window apart from a few branches on the trees at the back. And that's not very inspiring. So yeah, I'm thinking of doing like a breakfast bar thing. I've got a breakfast bar stool outside. So that's what I'm thinking of doing in my room. It's going to get wallpapered as well. So it's going to be a really nice space. But because the tree's up and because there's not much time till Christmas and I've got so much to get made for presents for Christmas, I've decided, you know what, I'm not going to put any pressure on myself and I'm going to wait till the new year. And then I can do that in the new year. And I'll show you my room as it gets changed and how it's going to look because I'm really looking forward to working in here next year. I've not had a proper craft space to work in 10 years really because I couldn't really work anywhere in the other house. The shed was wet and cold and damp and my neighbour was always coming and poking his nose in and then another neighbour was always poking her nose in, so I never got anything done. But here the bench has been full of creosote and it hurts my chest and makes me cough, so I've not been able to work out there either. So this is brilliant. This is a lovely welcome retreat. And you know, I just like coming and sitting in here, even if I don't make anything. It's just a nice space to come. The dog's in his crate, it's quiet, my husband's at work, and I can just come and sit and look like a little girl in a candy shop or in a grotto and just look at all the wool and the boxes and the sewing and think of all the lovely things that I could make if I could get round to it. It will get my head in the right headspace. So if Maria, you could give me some of your brain, I might be able to get some nice things made like you do. Whimsy Garden Studio on Instagram if you want to have a look at her stuff, Maria. She makes these beautiful brooches. She's just done these most beautiful heart-shaped fabric and beads and her little birds. They are beautiful. So if you do go on Instagram, do check her out, Whimsy Garden Studio. I'll put a link in the description bar below for you. And also Blue Heart Crochet is taking part in Vlogmas. And I'll pop her link in the description bar as well. She's a lovely girl. I came across her last year and we've both watched each other's vlogs. So do take a look over there. She does mainly crochet. Have a look over there and see what you can find there for inspiration. So If you'd like me to plug your channel, and let me know in the comments section below if you do have a YouTube channel on crafting, and I will share your link. I will share your link, and I will share what you make as well, and maybe we can work together to promote each other's YouTube pages. So, right, we're going to get stuck in now to doing the weaving loom. I'm going to take you out into the garage and show you what I'm doing out there. We're going to have a little look at the wood, have a look at the bench, and then we're going to come back in here and I'm going to show you working out the plans for the weaving loom, for the shape of the body of the loom. And I'll see you back here in a minute. Right, so this is the new bench here. This was out of my husband's storeroom. And yeah, it's got a lovely view out the window there of the view across the hill. And on the bench, I have a band saw, a mitre saw, one of those bench saws that you can turn around and do different angles. I've got an old sander called I think it's called a linisher. It's a dip belt sander. That needs tidying up. And I've also got a wood turning lathe, which I'm hoping to learn to use to make things like niddy noddies and stuff like that for my shop, or nostopines. So yeah, that's in the window there. And then this is the bench, and this is the wood. I've also got a light above, which is great, and there's my floor loom that's going to go in my craft room upstairs. But yeah, these are the pieces of wood I've got. So this is a really nice piece of ply. And I'm thinking of using this one for the 10-inch loom. I think that'll be really nice. I can cut the shape with my jigsaw. And I reckon I'll get 2 pieces out of this piece. And then I've got this one here as well, which I was thinking of trying to use for the 10-inch. But looking at it now, it's a little bit grotty. So I'm not sure that's going to work for the 16-inch. But yeah, it's going to be for little fingers, so I don't want any sharp bits coming off. I may have to keep that one for my loom. So that's getting put aside. I've also got this little piece. I'll be able to sand that up and use that. So I'm thinking of using that for the upright pieces, you know, that you do the cutout for putting the HEDDLE into, to put the reed into. So that's my thinking for that. I've also just found this piece of plywood here. It's quite a tall piece. I think it's about 7 foot. So I think I'll be able to get the other loom out of that. In fact, you know, I might just get the 2 out of that. It's only going to be for the sides, and then I've got brush poles for the bit that you wind your wool onto. I've got this brush pole here. Excuse the mess, I've been sorting the garage out. I've got I think it's a 22. I think it was 22 inches, the brush pole, and that I'll get 2 looms out of that, I reckon. And these are the HEDDLEs. I brought Ashford because I use that myself, and this one is a 7.5 dent, so they'll be able to weave scarves, fabric, pretty much anything on that really, and use wool. And I've also bought the same dent, the 7.5, but I bought it in this length, and I think this is a 16-inch, and I think that one's a 10-inch. So yeah, so it's got 7.5 teeth. I think that is 7.5 slots per inch, and then that one's the same. So they're the 2 size looms. So all I need to do really is cut out the actual frame, and then these bits where these are going to hang and go up and down for the threads to move up and down. Excuse me for looking so cold, but it's freezing here. Yeah, I can't quite work out how to do the cog bit. You know, the bit that you turn to wind the cloth on at the back and then tighten it at the back. So I was watching another video. If I can find it, I'll pop it in the link in the description bar. And he actually used the brush pole and then took that right through on both sides and put doweling through, drilled doweling in and glued it in, and then drilled another piece and then glued it in. And he did that all the way around, and he made a little knob that went in to keep the teeth in place to stop them moving. So I'm thinking of doing that because I think that'll be the easiest for the little hands that are going to be using the looms, because it's going to go to some little people. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Oh, you disappeared. That's what I'm thinking with that. But I haven't decided yet, because I have got a tool, or my husband's got a tool that drills circles into plywood, and you end up with a circle of wood. But I'm not sure how I would do the teeth. So that's what I'm thinking so far. Haven't decided yet. I do have my pillar drill that I can use for drilling the holes through straight. They're my thoughts at the moment. Yeah, they're my thoughts at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back in the house. I'm going to show you the looms that I'm using, and I'll draw out the plan with you of what I'm going to do with the loom for the size that I'm doing. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So we're just going to go back in the house where it's warmer, and we're going to get stuck in and see if we can design this loom together. So see you in the house in a minute, back in the craft room. Right, so this is my Kromsky loom, and this is the bit I want to measure the length of, because the Samplete loom is smaller, as you can see. So I'm going to do the Samplete loom to this size, but the 16-inch one for the bigger heddle, I want to measure this and the Ashford and try and get a good distance in between, because it's not going to fold like this one. I don't want to do a folding one. I want to do a fixed one. It's not going to have all the shaping that this one's got. It's just going to be basic, straight lines. And then I'm going to sand the edges. The other thing I've got to do is try and work out how to do the heddle, because this one is fixed where the heddle goes, that shaped part. And then this one comes off and goes on. So I really need to have a think. They're pretty much the same shape, to be honest with you. So I'm probably just going to use the shaping on the Ashford Samplete, and I'm going to make it fixed so it doesn't come off. It's just going to be part of the actual loom itself, the same as it is on the Ashford. But it's not going to have all the shaping that the Ashford has. And I need to sort out finding some clamps as well for it to be able to fix to the table. So let's get measuring and let's see what we can do with this loom, shall we? Right, so I've got my tape measure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure across, and it's roughly 25 inches across the back for that one. So let's move that off to one side. And then this one is from there to there. This one's 19. So I think a 22 would probably do it. I think that would be long enough, 22. Because I don't want it to take up too much space in the house for them. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with 22 inch, because that one's 25 and this one's 19. So yeah, 22 inch, which is just going to be just under 60 centimetres. Right, so that's that bit sorted. So this is my piece of paper. I'm just using ordinary brown paper. I'm just going to hold the edges down. And what I'm going for is basically a straight shape like that, with a bit in the middle, and that's going to be where the heddle goes. And then I'm going to have, they're going to be the buttons, and that's basically going to be it. I'm also going to do some holders for the yarns to go round, like this one has. But it's not going to have the cog on it like this one has, because they're very expensive, and I don't even know if they're going to enjoy doing the weaving. So I don't want to go and spend out a shed load of money when they can just go and buy the loom themselves. So this is just to give them a taste of what it's like to use a rigid heddle loom. So for the brush, I'm using brush poles for this bit. It's not flat on one edge, but it's going to be rounded. But I don't really think that matters, because the Kromsky is rounded. And the width of the heddle is going to be determined by the heddle and that piece of wood at the bottom to hold it together. So that's the plan. So I'm not doing any of this fancy schmancy stuff here, and my pole's going to come out the side here, and then there's going to be a little button around here somewhere that's going to hold it all in place, hold the fabric in place. So we're going for 22 inches from end to end. So 22. This is for the 16 inch, by the way. So we're going to go 22. Because the edges aren't straight, I'm just going to mark it like that. And then that comes up 5 inches. It's going to come up about 4 or 5 inches. I think I'll go for 5. It's going to come up to there. And the same along here. You see that all right? You see that okay? Can't tell whether you can or not. Right. So this is going to be my first edge here. It's going to come up to there. I'm doing this because I'm going to cut it out with the jigsaw. So I need to know that my measurements are right before I start. So that one's going to go up to there. And then I need to take into account the width of the brush, which is 2.5. It's 25 mm. So I'm going to make it 2.5 inches wide, I think, this bit. And this one 2.5. And that's going to take into account the brush and the little button and everything else. And then this bit is 2 inch. That bit's 2 inch. And then this bit here is going to be 2 inches high. Because that doesn't need to be as wide as the rest. So we'll go across the top. I am going to round off the edges for little hands. And then this is going to come down. And that's going to go across. That's going to go across. This is going to come down. And that's going to come across there. The thing with the brown paper is it does have a line through it, so you can get a good line going through. Right, so that's the rough shape of my loom. My brush pole is going to go here and here, and then there's going to be a button here to hold the spokes in place. So I need to cut a hole there, and I'll need to cut a hole there. Now that one's 3 inches across. So maybe I should do it 3 instead of 2.5. I think I'll do it 3 instead of 2.5. Now both looms are going to be made the same, except one's going to be a 10 inch and one's going to be a 16 inch. So it's better. Right. So my circle needs to be moved over into the middle on both sides. And yeah, that's going to be the basic shape that I'm going to cut out. So just need to cut it out with the paper. I'm probably going to do this bit as well. Where are we? This bit as well, which these are going to hold onto as part of the wood as well, like this one. I think that'll be easiest. I think that'll be the easiest. Right. So how far along is that in comparison? So that's 6 inches. That's 9 inches away. So 9 inches and 3 inches, 6 inches. Okay. Now I'm wondering if it needs to be longer. Because that's big enough for the sand pleat. For the 10 inch. I think I need to make the other one longer. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to cut this one out and then do the other one. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so this is my 2 sizes. This is my bigger one and this is the smaller one. There's not much difference in the size. There's about 1.5 inches difference in the size. But I just think it'll be a better loom if it's bigger. There's about, yeah, 1.5 inches difference. So the first one is, it's turned out 22. The second one is 23.5. So I think they'll be fine. The 16 inch is this one. So this is going to be like this. And then the 10 inch is this one. So that's going to be like that. So that's that. So they're the 2 things that I need for doing the base. These are the 2 things I need for doing the base. I need to work out where the hole's going to go for the brush pole to go through. And then I just need to put some pieces of wood along the bottom. Now, what I do also need to work out is doing this bit in here. So I think I'm just going to do the old-fashioned rubbing with a pen. Cut the shape out with a pen. Because it can't be that difficult, can it? Looks like an anchor. Right, so it's roughly that shape, I think. I think that's pretty much how it is. And the heddle's supposed to fit in here, so we'll see, eh? So I'm going to cut this out with the jigsaw. And we'll see how we get on. In the next video, I'll show you me cutting out the loom. And then in the one after that, I'll show you me putting it together. And hopefully we'll have the whole thing done before Christmas, because I've got the 2 to do for 2 Christmas presents for Boxing Day. So yeah, so we'll see how we get on. I'm hoping that I'll be able to do that okay. I may have to do it with the handsaw and drill these bits out and sand them with the Dremel. So yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to do that bit yet, but I'm sure I can do the loom part. So when we come back in the next vlog, it won't be tomorrow, it'll be the day after, we will do the cutting out of these pieces and popping the holes in for the brushes. And then in the one after that, we will be putting it all together and see how we get on and see how it turns out. So I'll see you in the next vlog. Sorry, no book review today, but I'll do one in the next vlog for you. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next vlog. Take care. Bye.